If your donkey freezes or pulls away when you try to lead, you're not alone. Many folks think the answer is just pushing harder or using more treats, but that usually makes things worse. Today I want to show you why your donkey's reaction might have less to do with training and more to do with how they're reading their environment, as well as how we can change our approach to help them move forward, not just follow our commands. This isn't about forcing your donkey to comply. It's about understanding their hesitation and guiding them gently out of their freeze or reactive modes. All right, hey friends, we are back and we are working on teaching your donkey to lead so that they don't pull or drag you around. And this is a series that I'm making, so I will have a link to the playlist in this. So the first thing that we're going to do is have them clear the front. So now I'm offering her a good deal and she's not taking me up on it. There she goes. Good. Now I don't want to step backwards here. I'm going to wait for her to pass me and then I'll start walking with her. Okay. So now we're building our circle. The last donkeys you saw me working with were just learning how to lead, but Wild Donkey Ah is already trained to lead, so she knows what to do. And we're just doing a refresher with her. I want to build up her muscle. Now we're going to ask her to roll the hinds. So I'm putting my flag straight up and down. I'm going to slide my hand down the lead rope. And there she did it. So that's the first 3 steps. Clear the front, build a circle, and then roll the hinds. So those are the steps that we've already been doing in the first 3 videos of the series. And now we will do the next step. She's not taking me up on this good deal. So now I'm going to come over here. There we go. Now don't back up. Okay, so Wild Donkey Ah, I brought her home in June of 2023. And right before we came in here, I raked the barn. And so it'll be almost 3 years that she's been here. She's still a little bit nervous that I just raked the barn. That's so funny. So if you have a nervous donkey, they'll get past it, but they're going to take the time that they need to get past it. It's really, really windy outside today. So we're building our circle, and you can see our circle's not super good going this direction. So we're just going to get that circle. We don't want to go on to the next step. There's a mirror over there, and the wind is blowing. So we don't want to move on to the next step if we're not able to do what we're asking right now. So she's able to offer a smaller circle, and we'll take that right now. I hope I'm keeping her in the camera. Okay, so now when we go to do this next, we're going to put our flag straight up, slide our hand down, roll the hinds, and then we're going to have her return to the circle. I'm going to clear her front right now from where we're at, and then I'm going to work us over in this corner. We can direct them wherever we want to go with this. Right now her opposite foot is forward. There we go. Okay, so now I have her where I want. Now we can start building our circle. I added a mirror in here so I can help see my feet. That's something that I don't know if it's easy or hard for you, but when we're riding, we want to feel their feet, and it's so hard for me. So I'm going to use a mirror to help myself with that. All right, so now we're doing a good circle. Now I'm going to put my flag straight up. I'm going to slide my hand down the lead rope, and I want her to tilt her head just a little bit, and then we're going to return back to the circle. So we want to do a lot of this stuff, and the reasons we want to do a lot is that we are building muscle, and we're teaching her how to lead. Okay, we're helping her do all of this on a loose lead rope. My goal is that I'm keeping a smile in the lead rope. I can clear the front from right here. There, she did it. Now, I'm going to kind of walk forward because I want to get her back in that corner again, but we can do circles getting ourselves over there. Okay, there's still a lot more steps that we're going to keep introducing to help her learn how to lead or to teach your animal to lead. And for this is review, but this review is needed, guys. What we're doing is we're teaching her to lead on a loose lead rope. And Wild Donkey I got her 2.5 years ago. The other donkeys that were in this video series so far, they were just learning how to lead. So that was the very beginning stages. But now you get to see what it looks like when we've been doing it for a while. Okay, so when I slide my hand up the lead rope, that's offering her a good deal. She knows something is coming. Okay. I want that hind leg, the inside one, to step in front of her other hind leg. And I want her front inside leg to pivot and then reset. I don't want her getting a twisted ankle. Okay. And what I'm trying to do there is to get her to keep the loose lead rope. So if you saw me bumping her, that was because she wasn't keeping the loose lead rope. So we'll correct them when we need to, when we're guiding them to do what we want. Okay, so here I'm going to slide my hand down. I want her to give a loop. There, that was good. And then we're returning to the circle. Okay, so now you see her hesitating at the mirror. The HMA that she comes from, guys, is 7 troughs. I'm going to let her kind of investigate it for a second. She comes from the 7 troughs HMA. The mirror is new today. It's the first time. So she's seeing herself for the first time with this mirror. They are nervous. Many of them that I've worked with are pretty nervous donkeys. So when I'm working with a nervous one, I want to help her through things. I don't want to get after her when she's like nervous or investigating things. The need for her to investigate something, that'll go away as she has more experiences. So if you're dealing with a donkey who is hesitating, doesn't always want to lead, right now I could tell her, oh, it's time to go, right? But it's also okay to let her investigate things. Now, let's say I'm like, okay, that's enough investigation. I'm going to get her head, and then I'm going to ask her to walk again. So I am not going to teach her to lead by pulling on the lead rope. I'm going to drive her forward. Eventually, I won't need to. Okay, so now my flag goes straight up, slide my hand down. Then I'm going to ask for her head, and then she's still got to reset that front foot. You see this front foot? There, she reset it. And then brakes. When we're doing this, she's starting to lick and chew right now. We're going to do a bunch of rounds of this, and then we're going to give them a break. And the break could be anywhere from, I suppose, like 30 seconds to a minute or two, and it could be even longer if they're really uptight. And you can see she's not really uptight, okay? But when they're licking and chewing, they're saying, boy, we're communicating well. I'm understanding what you want, and I'm feeling good around you. That's what we're trying to get. There, she's nervous about the boards on the ground. Okay, there I just took a step back. We don't want to step back. She is more of a nervous donkey. Now I've brought her and I've worked with her with cattle, and she did pretty darn good with that. I have brought her to do like gymkhana games, and with those, she totally froze up. So if you're dealing with the donkey that's like not leading very well, remember this is something that we're going to build in our donkeys. Slide your hand down the lead rope, get their head, and then rolling the hinds. There, she's resetting her front really well. And then we're going to return to the circle. Really try hard, guys, not to step backwards. You see how there's a smile in my lead rope? My hand is open. I'm not gripping the lead rope. I'm trying to really work on helping her understand that she can follow this, the loose lead rope. Where my hand points is where I want her to go. So here, my hand is pointing where the direction I want her to go. I'm going to slide my hand down the lead rope, get her head, there, good job. All right, now I'm going to ask her to go again. So all of these are steps that we're using to teach our donkey to lead. Remember, all of this doesn't happen overnight. Donkeys are always asking the question, am I safe? So some of this stuff we have to build into. We have to show them that we are paying attention to what's around us. There, she saw something and she got nervous and she's coming into me. So there, I'm using my flag up by her shoulder to drive her away. Now, speaking of that, if we're needing to get them closer because they're pulling or drive them away because they're getting too close, we need to time it up with their front legs. So if we're asking them to go away from us, we're going to time it up with their outside front foot. When that foot is up, it's easier to drive her away. And if we're needing to get her closer, and we're bumping her with the lead rope, we're going to bump her when her front inside foot is up. Now, the same thing for rolling the hinds. When I slide my hand down the lead rope, okay, so I got my hand down here, and she's kind of doing it without there, and I'm bumping there. Did you see how much she turned her hind end? That was because I timed it with her hind inside foot being up. Now, that is the biggest thing with donkeys, guys, is our timing. We can get the movement without having good timing. Most often we can get it, but it's not going to be fluid unless we have good timing. And donkeys really respect us when we have good timing. They say, oh boy, you have a good resume. This is the fourth step with teaching them to lead. And this is Wild Donkey Ah. She's been here for 2.5 years. In June, it'll be 3 years. She is started under saddle, and we're going to be going to do some pretty neat things. I'm going to be teaching a clinic at Ty's Mule Week in Utah, if you guys are going to be there, about donkeys. And then I'm also going to be going to Boyd Ranch Mule Days. I won a trip there. I cannot believe it. So I'm going to be bringing Wild Donkey Ah and my horse. So I'm working on getting her conditioned so that she has the strength to be able to go in the mountains. My goal is that she can keep up with horses and mules on the trail for 5 to 7 miles. That's what I'm going to be working towards this year. One of my long-term goals is helping people slow down and really understand what their donkey is telling them, especially in moments like this when things don't look dramatic, but there's still a lot going on internally. And that's actually why I'm hosting the 2026 Donkey Challenge. It's not about fixing everything fast. It's about showing up consistently, learning how to read your donkey, and building forward movement without pressure. If you're working through leading issues, freezing, or hesitation with your own donkey, and you want a structured way to stay engaged and thoughtful about it, I'll leave details linked below. And now I'm saying I want you to clear the front. You see, I put my hand where I want her foot to go, and then she went. Okay. Now, I don't want to sit here and say, go, ah, go. I want her to do it. So if you could hear when I waved my flag, I did it kind of dramatically, right? So it was kind of loud. I'm not hitting her with it. I want to kind of shock her into moving. I don't want to nag her. A donkey will discount you so fast if you nag them. Okay, so I'm going to put my flag straight up, slide my hand on the lead rope. That's a cue. Right now, I see a lot of this happen. When we put our flag up, the animal thinks it's time to stop. Okay? We don't want them to think it's time to stop just because we put our flag up. So we can have our flag up and then just walk like this to help them learn that the flag up doesn't mean anything, okay? What does mean something is when I slide my hand on the lead rope. Okay, so here we go. That's her cue. I'm going to bring it up high. There. Good job. Now I'm going to give her a little bit of a break. And this could just be like 30 seconds to say, good job, you found the right answer. Her lips are starting to tremble a little bit. She's coming into me for some pets. Okay. Now, petting them while you're working with them. It's not that petting them while you're working with them is bad. However, when they are needing to process what they learned, sometimes then, okay, there she goes. Okay. Sometimes then the best thing you can do is not pet them because they need to process what they just learned. Okay. Give them a lot of pets later on, but while they're processing what they learned, that's not necessarily the time to pet them. And those are all, there's variables, right? If you got a really young animal, you might do that more petting. But once you have an animal that knows what they're supposed to be doing, save that petting for later on and let them process what they're learning. Okay, so I'm going to slide my hand down the lead rope, get her to bend. There. And I'm going to ask for a few more. If I can time that with when her hind inside foot is up. There. And now I'm going to let her process again. Remember, we want the inside hind foot to cross over like this. And we want the front inside foot to pivot and then reset. Okay, pivot and then reset. Because we don't want them twisting an ankle, and we want them to be building muscle. There, she's blinking. Her ears are listening to the Tweety bird on the door sill. Her nose has two little creases in it, but not too much. Her lips are pretty relaxed. They're not tight. Okay, so what I'm walking you guys through right now is just where she's at. How uptight is she? And I would say she's not uptight. Not uptight at all. Okay, now I'm putting my hand where I want her to go. Now, when I first start teaching them to lead and to follow, to clear the front, which isn't what we just did just there, but when I first start, I'll count to 10. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. I'll call all the way up to 10. Okay, and then later on, I expect them, they start to understand, and then I don't count to 10. Eventually, they would just get a second. There. Now I'm going to ask her to keep going again. Okay, so we're returning to the circle. We're building muscle. And now she got nervous, and that's okay. Okay, so we're building up that muscle. We're helping her learn to follow a loose lead rope. And right now, apparently, we're desensitizing too because she's nervous about the rake marks from me cleaning up the barn. She's nervous about the mirror. There's stuff happening out in the training pens. So she's getting all kinds of stuff right now. But this building the muscle is pretty huge. Okay, so I slid my hand down the lead rope. Now I'm going to pick up. I want her to turn her head. There. Oh, look at that. That was good. Now we can return right to the circle. So you see how I point and she goes. That's what we're after. I point and she goes. There, she's nervous about that board. You see how she kind of cocked her head a little bit when she's looking at it? She's kind of blinking a little bit fast right now. And that's just her being nervous. Now, speaking of nervous and a donkey not leading, the first time I brought her to an event, she wasn't under saddle yet. She froze up. I couldn't get this donkey to move to save my life. Okay, a flag wouldn't work, oats wouldn't work, having another donkey in front of her wouldn't work. This donkey just froze up. She was so overloaded. She was so overloaded that it took 45 minutes to get her back in the trailer when we were all done. And then a year later, I took her to another event. And guess what? She still froze up some, but I was able to ride her at the event, and she was able to do a bunch of stuff. Okay? Not all the first time. There, good job. But if we were to compare what she was able to do the first year compared to the second year, I'm very excited to see what this donkey can do on her third year as she gets more bravery, more coping skills, and more experiences. Okay, so if your donkey is having trouble leading, we got these first 4 videos teaching you what to teach your donkey, and let me know how it's going. I'll keep making more videos of other stuff that I do to teach her to lead. So keep staying tuned, and we'll have more in this playlist. I have 2 playlists for leading, and one shows like all kinds of leading that I've done with all kinds of animals. But this playlist that I'm making, and I'll put a link to it in the description, this playlist is just going to be, I don't know if it'll be like 7 or 10 videos is all that it's going to be, because it's going to be very specific what I do to help them. She's a licker, guys. She likes to lick my hand. Are you a good donkey, huh? Are you a good girl? All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you to the members who support this work. It's what allows me to take the time to slow these sessions down and really explain what I'm watching for.